Hello and welcome to Quick Yoga. My name is Marella and welcome to the mat. I invite you to take a good sitting position. Press your sit bones into the floor, lengthen the sides of your body long, move your ears back, engage your core, and if you wish, bring your hands together as if in prayer. Close your eyes, turn your attention inwards and observe your breath for the next couple of minutes. And we'll open with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Open your eyes, release your hands, and word of the day is contribution. How or what can you bring to your practice that will contribute to your growth as a human being? So how do we do that? Today we're looking at the detail of being in each pose. So when we come into down dog, we're careful about where we place our hands, we're careful how we lift our hips, we're careful how we invite our heels to the floor. And all of these add up to the jigsaw of the blessings and benefits that are brought to us through the practice of yoga. One contributes to the next, contributes to the next. It's an alignment-based practice, so getting our foundations right contributes to the whole of the practice. And then off the yoga mat and out in our lives, how we contribute to ourselves comes through how we contribute to our community. It's like if we can, a rising tide brings everything with us, so the more we can work for our community, the more we benefit ourselves, as we are all part of each other and each other is part of us. So let's make our way into mountain pose. Feet hip width apart, setting up your foundation. Press down equally with the 4 corners of your feet into the floor. Stretch the sides of your body long, broaden across your collarbones, move your ears back, stretch arms down, stretch fingers down, and bring your awareness to your breath. And then as a way of waking up our body, we'll do a couple of star jumps. So hands to chest, feet wide, arms wide, hands in, feet together, arms to the sides, hands to chest, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together. In, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, 2 more, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together, 1 more, hands in, hands out, feet out, hands in, together. Bring your feet, set up your feet again, close your eyes, turn in, observe your breath. Moving into summit, inhale, lift your arms up, hands shoulder width apart, point palms in, root down, brushing your arms off your ears, move your ears back, engage your core. exhale, come into forward fold. Line up your fingernails with your toenails, allow your head to drop, lift your hip up. Coming into half forward fold, walk your hands forward under your shoulders, lift your head up, look up, turn your sit bones up, flare your toes. Walk your hands forward into plank, hands wider than shoulders, float your shoulders over your wrists, engage your core, lift your head, look up, grip the floor with your fingertips, keep your core nice and bright. And float forward into chaturanga, so shoulders over wrists and hovering off the floor. You can also do this on your elbows. And lower gently to the floor and coming into locust one. Backs of the hands on the floor, turn your palms up, squeeze your heels together, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Place your hands under your shoulders, turn your toes under and make your way into down dog. Walk your hands back, standing mountain, feet together, root down equally with the four corners of your feet into the floor. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back, move your ears back. Place your hands on your hips. Take a big step forward with your right foot with attitude and intention. Bend your right knee, sink down, front knee over front ankle. Lift your back heel off the floor to vertical, torso upright, sink down even more. Lift your gaze, look up. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Press down, stand up and pivot to the back of the mat. Left knee over ankle. Lift back heel over toes. Torso upright. Elbows back. Lift your gaze. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. Sink down. Press down, stand up and step your feet together. Moving into power pose, head to knee. Lift your arms out in front of you, hands shoulder width apart. Invite the head of the shoulder bones back into the socket. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Bend your knees, lower your hips, round your back. Bring your forward to your knees, lift your arms out in front. Sink back in your throne, engage your core, get out of your own way. Inhale, press down, stand up, moving into crescent pose, stepping your feet together. Lift your right arm up by your ear, clasp your right biceps with your left hand, root down equally with both feet into the floor. Move your hips to the right, your torso to the left, be as sideways as possible. Lift your gaze. Inhale, come back up to centre and switch arms. Clasp your left bicep with your right hand and be as sideways as possible to the right. Be careful not to collapse into the side you're leaning into. Inhale back to centre, lower your arms. Moving into forward fold. Feet together, more difficult. Feet hip width apart, more doable. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Line up your fingernails with your toenails. And then press the heels of your hands towards the floor. Float your hips forward slightly. Allow your head to drop, look back between your legs. If it's available for you, begin to straighten your knees. The backs of your knees away from you. If not, maintain a slight bend in your knees. Squeeze your legs together, engage your quads, hug the muscles to the bones. Inhale, walk your hands forward, place your hands under your shoulders, lift your hips, lift your head, look up. Knees bent, more doable. Turn your sit bones up. Come up onto the tips of your fingers. And then walk your hands forward all the way up the mat into plank. Lift your head, look up. And this time lower down onto your elbows, clasp your hands together, interlace your fingers, float your shoulders over your wrists. And lower to the floor and moving into crocodile. Place your forehead on the floor. Clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Bend your knees, bring your heels in towards your hips. Keep that. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. And gently release. Down dog. And come and make your way to sitting down, coming into staff pose. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Heel of your hands on the floor, press through your heels, squeeze your inner shins, your inner thighs, engage your core, broaden across your collarbones, move your ears back, sit tall. And moving into boat pose. Bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest, stretch your arms either side of your knees, point palms towards each other. Inhale and lift your feet off the floor so that your tips of your toes are just hovering on the floor. Stay here, more doable, more difficult, lift your legs up. And gently release. Clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, lean back, and then lift your knees off the floor, bend your knees, lift your feet off the floor. Stay here, more doable, more difficult, stretch your legs out. And gently release. And moving into bridge pose. Come and lie on your back and bend your knees and place your heels in front of your hips. Bend your elbows. Move your elbows in closer to the sides of your body, hands shoulder width apart, point palms towards each other. And then press down with your elbows into the floor, lift your hips up. Walk your heels even closer to your hips. Invite your hips to rise even higher. Stretch your knees away from your hips. Lift your chin out of your chest. Press the back of your head into the floor. And gently allow your spine to come to the floor, vertebrae vibe vertebrae. Feeling how good that feels. And make your way up to sitting. And coming into easy pose. Cross your legs in front of you, the way you always do, the most comfortable position. Press down with your sit bones into the floor. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, place your hands on the floor, lean forward, look beyond your hands. If you wish, come up onto the tips of your hands. Inhale, creep them forward. Exhale, sinking down. Inhale, creep forward. Exhale, sink down. Inhale back up to centre. Uncross your legs and cross them in the more familiar way or unfamiliar way. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward and walk them forward again. And coming back up, we're moving into Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Stretch your right leg out and bring the sole of your foot to the upper inner thigh and create a space like a fist distance apart from the sole of your foot to the inner thigh. Pressing down with your sit bones into the floor. Inhale your arms up, exhale, hinge forward. Clasp the outside edges of your feet with your hands, gaze beyond your toes. Engage your core. Inhale back to centre and switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, bend your right knee and bring the sole of your foot towards your upper inner thigh, but keep space between it. Turn out over your left thigh. Inhale, lift your arms up, exhale, hinge forward and reaching forward. You can also reach for your knee, your shin, or place your hands on the floor. just whatever works for you today. Inhale, stretch forward, exhale, sinking down. Inhale back up to centre. And moving into star pose, bring the soles of your feet, I'll turn this way so you can see me, bring the soles of your feet apart. If you have a block or a book, and place the block between the soles of your feet. And then sitting up straight, hinging forward, hold your feet and soften your elbows and just lean forward. Press the soles of your feet into the block, and just hinging from your hips. Inhale back to centre. Moving into a wide leg forward fold, stretch your legs wide apart. I'm just keeping an eye on the time here. And then hinge forward, place your elbows on the floor, clasp your hands, push through your heels, press the backs of your thighs into the floor, engage your quads, hinging forward. So we started off this practice by warming up, and then we did a couple of back bends, and now we're into the forward bends in the practice. And so warming up contributed to us being able to come easily into back bends, and then the back bends strengthen us and get us ready for the forward bends. So one contributes to the next and contributes to the next, adding up to an overall yoga practice. Inhale and make your way back up to sitting. And seated pigeon. So bend your left knee, bring your heel in towards your hip, and baby cradle your right leg. Bring the sole of the foot into the crook of the arm, the knee into the other arm, press your sit bones into the floor, and your shin is sort of parallel to the ceiling. There should be no pressure on your knees, so back out of the pose if there's a little bit of pressure, and then sitting up tall. And release that and switch to the other side. Lift your left foot, bring it into the crook of the arm, shin parallel, sitting tall, move your ears back. And release, and coming into west stretch. Reclined west stretch. Come and lie on your back. Bring your knees into your chest and clasp the outside edges of your feet with your hands. And bend your knees and allow your knees to come out to the sides of your body as coming into happy baby. Press down on the soles of the feet. Keep your shins vertical. Invite your lower back to come closer to the floor. And then bring your legs together, stretch them up towards the ceiling, press the backs of your knees away from you, invite your toes down towards the floor, relax your elbows. Keep pushing through your heels, keep engaging your quads. back close to the floor as you can manage. And then bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest and give yourself the most delicious, loving, kindly hug that you can give yourself. Just gently massaging your spine as you move from side to side. And now prepare for relaxation. So if you have a blanket or an eye pillow, stretch out on your mat, stretch your arms out, stretch your legs out. Allow yourself to relax completely. Turn your palms up and invite yourself to sink into the floor. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, and just observe. Begin to deepen your breathing. Bring your attention back into your body and onto the mat. Start to awaken your body by moving your hands, your feet. If you like, give yourself a stretch. And you're quite welcome to stay here or bend your knees, roll to one side and pause on one side before pushing yourself up to sitting. Bring your hands together as if in prayer one last time. To honour ourselves, each other and the practice, we close with one Om. Exhale, inhale. And just remember, the best way to contribute to yourself is to contribute to your community. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for coming to yoga, and see you on the mat.